What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy NBA Today, a hoop-ball.com presentation. I'm your host, Vince Miracle, and it looks like I'm riding solo today. So, yeah, this is happening. So what I'm going to actually just do today on this show, it's going to be kind of laid back. Dan Besbris, congratulations, had his very first kid over the weekend. We talked about it today during the weekly lineup show, but I've been able to see that. So I'm running this thing solo, and I did it live. Normally, this show was not going to be live. It's going to be me and Dan Besbris doing a podcast form of this show. But no, I'm live today, and I'm on YouTube. And I said, hey, why not? Let's just do a full Q&A. And if there's nobody in the chat to do the Q&A with, guess what? I'm going to run down some news. We're going to talk about who to have in your lineup, who not to have in your lineup. Kind of give you a little preview of what we did during the weekly lineup show, but by me, myself, and I. While also, probably just again, taking all of your guys' fantasy basketball questions. I want to remind everyone that this show is Fantasy NBA Today. I'm your host, Vince Miracle. It is a hoop-ball.com presentation. If you haven't become a premium in-season member yet, I highly recommend that you do so. In the link below, actually, I did not post it in there. I lied to you. What's going on, Ben? If you go to hoop-ball.com right now and you click on premium in-season membership, there you will find it for $29.99. Yes, the price has gone up, but it's still cheaper than all of the big box sites where you get Fantasy NBA Tonight, where you're going to have myself and you're going to have Jake Cousins, where we give you our initial reactions from today's games. Well, also, you can check out the weekly lineup show that Aaron Brewski and I did this morning. Normally, it's Aaron and Dan, but again, Dan just recently had his kid, so I'm filling in. You guys get to get stuck with this guy. I hope my hands are in the right place. Okay. Anyways, go ahead and subscribe to that show. There's a lot of great things happening, including the Sunday waiver wire show and things like that. It's been an amazing weekend. It's going to be a huge transition going to the premium side, but I want to thank every single one of you guys who are decided to join us here on this 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time show, where we're going to be saying who to play, who not to play, what are we doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get right into it and start answering all of your guys' fantasy basketball questions. Ben says, what's up, Vince? How's it hanging? There's a joke I can do with that, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say I am in some pain right now, Ben. I hurt myself over the weekend at my baby shower playing basketball, and now I got a bum knee and a hurt back. Yeah, cause this is probably your best time to be able to come and beat me. Still talking. Joe, is Paul George playing tonight? He says he is, and I would lean toward he is. Hund 1000 trill. Keeping it trill, keeping it real. Hey, Vince, Wiggins for Draymond Green. If you are offered Draymond Green for Andrew Wiggins, yeah. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, he's been playing really good this season. I mean, you can't deny. You've seen the numbers. He's been having those popcorn numbers, and they've been so fun to watch and so fun to see. But even still, what Draymond Green does for you with the defensive stats and everything like that, and the way he rebounds, he can score the three-point shot. I'm just pulling up the rankings here as we speak. I'm trying to find where Draymond Green has been the 8th best player in fantasy right now. So, I mean, he's putting up first-round value early on in the season. If you're getting offered Draymond Green for Andrew Wiggins, I mean, you definitely take that deal. Tama Carr, what's going on, Tama? Dropped DeMarre Carroll for Justin Hamilton. Expecting a good game tonight with Brook out, but it is against the Clips. What do you reckon? I'll say this. I don't have Justin Hamilton in any of my DFS lineups. Why? You brought up a good team. Clippers, they're number 1 ranked team on defense efficiency, and I believe, if I remember this correctly off the top of my head, they're also ranked in the top 5 in offensive efficiency. So they have players that can score, and they have players that can lock you down. I see to expand the floor a little bit. I think both Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan have the muscle and the stamina to keep up and slow him down. So I have him tonight, but I do think dropping DeMarre Carroll for Justin Hamilton was not a bad move. I actually have been doing some recent in my league as well. And what I've been seeing in a lot of these leagues, though, is that people who are hitting the alert button, they're getting really scared. I see guys like Will Barton getting dropped. I see guys like J.R. Smith getting dropped. Will Barton's kind of a big name. I mean, he's a guy who can bring up top 120 value and things like that. And he's someone that also that is going to be a scoring off the bench. He's going to be shooting threes. He's going to get you rebounds. He can do a little bit of everything for you. Yeah, his field goal percentage is going to be up and down, but he's a huge asset to that Denver Nuggets team. So I think when he comes back, he's definitely going to be putting up value. And I've been seeing him in a few leagues now that he's been being dropped. So if he's been dropped in your league and you have some dead space there, like a Damari Carroll, for example, I think he'd be a great guy to go pick up. People are sending me offers left and right for center Miles Turner. What's the minimum you would accept for him at this point? Second round? I have Miles Turner on my team. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have him in one of my leagues. I have him on my team. And I'm nervous that he's reached a peak. Like that's my thing is has he reached a peak and is it going to hurt me? Now, Miles Turner has been putting up second round value on the season. 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2.5 blocks. He's getting you a steal a game. He's being efficient. He's knocking down a 3-point shot. Everything. But can he do it consistently? We've only seen 10 games out of him. So that's and to be perfect, he's tied right now with Paul George. If you think that he's as good as Paul George, that's where fantasy-wise, I mean, I'm not saying he can't sustain it, but I think if you're selling, you should try and get a second rounder because he's putting up that value. But I mean, he's had a couple of bad games also. So you got to kind of wait it together. I mean, you're definitely selling high on Miles Turner. I may start looking at doing things like that, but again, I need him kind of on my team with how my big men are currently constructed. So another free week? No, it's not a free week. It's not a free week. What happened was, if you missed the beginning of the show, Dan Besbris, the great and wonderful Thunder Dan, had his child over the weekend. And so because of that, he had to throw the podcasting duties over to me, his right-hand man, Vince Sanity, a.k.a. Vince Miracle. That's right. I give myself a nickname. It's terrible. I'm owning it. But yeah, no, it's not another free week. Normally, we're going to do a live show every single Thursday with Dan Besbris and I, and we're going to answer as many questions as we can. We're going to be recapping the game that was. Just Thursdays are going to be the day where it's normally live. But again, because Dan was not here because of the birth of his child, again, congratulations. You guys go shout him out at Dan Besbris on Twitter. Just tell him congratulations and everything like that. I think he would definitely appreciate the support from you guys. But I got a free week. This is just me doing another podcast. This just so happens, and yeah, I'm happy to be here. I love taking all of you guys' questions. Chris Pennyfield says, Chris, first off, thank you for joining us on the show. Got Jrue Holiday coming back on IR currently. Who would you drop? Saric, Harkless, Kilpatrick? That's a really good question. I'm probably leaning more towards Kilpatrick just because once Jeremy Lin returns, I think Kilpatrick goes down a little bit in value, or Harkless is going to continue to be that starting 3. But I think with Sark there, I think you're starting to see him emerge a little bit. I'm not one of those guys that's fully on the Sark train. You guys have all heard that during the time I've been doing the show. There's guys that are though, and guys that are much smarter than me. I believe with guys like Aaron Brewski, pretty high on Dario Saric, not Saric. Guess there's an invisible H somewhere on that name. But I think the upside is too high to let him go for a guy like Jrue Holiday. But Jrue Holiday is definitely a top 65 player. So I would think Kilpatrick would be the guy on my list, at least just for me. Super Taco, Dellavedova was dropped. Should I pick him up? A standard league? Yes, you should. If you need those handful of assists, I'd say 5 to 6 assists, and sometimes more on a good day. 10, 12 points, 2 3-pointers on a good day. I'd say a 3-pointer and a half. He plays aggressive. I think if he's available, you need a low-end point guard. He is definitely your guy that you can go out there and go pick up. I mean, I drafted him, and he worked out for me. I put him in a couple deals, and I've dealt him away. But no, I don't think that's a bad deal at all. I think Dellavedova, if he's been dropped and you need a low-end point guard at the end of your bench, I think that's definitely someone that you can go and get. Movie Dude. Am I crazy for trying to be patient with Nurkic and Wes Matthews? Keyword, trying. Well, yeah, Wes Matthews. I've given up hope on Wes Matthews. I had to trade him away. I got scared. I think it's early with the Nurkic thing. I think the sell high moment was probably about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I think you're going to start seeing him come back to earth a little bit. I think if you package the deal, you could probably get something of maybe like a Jonas Valanciunas if that person needs scoring and Nurkic has a good game. But, with Wes Matthews, he is just not finding a way to put that ball in the hole, and that's been a huge problem for him over the last 2 seasons. He's going to get you the 3-pointers. The steals are going to be there, but that field goal percentage is just a killer right now. So I'll say this. Wes Matthews is an asset to have just as much as Robert Covington is an asset to have. But Wes Matthews' field goal percentage is, I was so high on Wes Matthews. I thought he was going to take such a big bump in value this year, and it just hasn't happened yet. But yeah, with Nurkic, I understand why you're losing patience. Trust me, I drafted Jokic and Jokic. I'm terrible with names. I almost messed up Chris's name. His last name is Penfield. I called him Pennyfield earlier. See, I'm terrible with names. I'm just terrible. But yeah, I understand why you're getting irritated. Got my rock star. Don't worry, I'm here. Do you like Marvin Williams' production in a Roto League? He accumulated great threes and rebounds, but his percentages do hurt a lot. They should pick up, right? Well, let's look over to my little machine called the stat checking cell phone. Let me see what he's currently shooting right now on the season, because Marvin Williams, I mean, he hasn't really lived up to the hype that he was when he got drafted, but he had such a good year last year that it's hard to really ignore him. So I'm pulling it up here. Marvin Williams, there you are, from Charlotte. He is currently shooting 35.9%. He was a 40. Yeah, he's gonna definitely go up. He was a 45% shooter last year. As long as his field goal percentage goes up, I think he's going to still continue to bring that across the board stat lines. I mean, he's already averaging 2.6 threes, 11.4 points, 7.4 rebounds, about assist and a half, and just under a half a block and under a half a steal, while also not turning over the basketball. So he's going to be a nice asset to have at the, again, latter half of your bench. If you need some threes, you need a guy that can score and grab some rebounds. I do think that his field goal percentage will go up, but maybe it's just time to bench him for a little while if he's completely hurting you right now. All right, guys, I'll take this time right now to pause the show to remind everyone that this is Fantasy NBA Today, and this is a hoop-ball.com presentation. For those who don't know, I'm Vince Miracle, and I'll be your host today. It's been great doing this over the past, week and a half that we've been doing this show, 2 weeks that we've been doing this show. It's just been so much fun. This is episode 104. It started off so quick and so early. So, again, thank you guys all for joining me here on this beautiful yet slow-moving till I got a drink of my Rockstar Monday. And yeah, what we're doing on the show is just answering all of your fantasy basketball questions. Now, for those who don't know, first time ever watching, hey, how do I get my question on the show? Down below, while you're watching this video, actually, I think it might be off to the side on the right there, depending on how you're watching it. There's a live chat, and all you have to do, type in your question on the live chat, and I'll be here monitoring the chat board and answering your question live. Also, do us a huge favor, guys, if you can. Hit that thumbs up button so we know that you guys like this show and you enjoyed this show. And secondly, if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe to this show so you guys can stay up to date with all the things happening over here at hoop-ball.com and our YouTube channel. And then continue to get the conversation going in the comments below after this show has ended and you guys are watching it when the games are going. And hopefully you guys are winning already right now. You're watching. Yeah. Back to the chat board we go. And our next question comes from Dan H., who I am versing this week in our Fantrax League. Do you think Iman Shumpert can do more? Shump, I think he can do more with his hair if he grew it out a little bit longer. I don't know. I think he's going to have a role with his team. I mean, I really do think he's going to have a role with his team. I mean, the Cavs need him. The defense that he brings, three-pointers that he brings off the bench, I don't think they're going to rely heavily on Richard Jefferson. So, yeah, do you think Iman Shumpert can do more? Yes, he can do more, especially with that hairdo. Have you guys what? Hey, you guys. And Angel says, I got Clay and Jokic, I don't know, for Wade, Gibson, and Barea. Is it a good trade? Yeah, that's a pretty good trade. I mean, if you got Jokic for that, I mean, I really think that's going to be up there. I mean, Clay and Jokic for Wade, Gibson, and Barea was a really smart deal. Yeah, that's arguably 2 second-round picks. Ben Carnell says, Vince, have you guys thought of doing a competition between the viewers, such as at the end of the year they send a screenshot of their screen for finals, and you guys decide from there? It sounds fun. I mean, a competition for viewers. Yeah, I know that in a little while, next week or the week after that, what we're going to start doing is the DFS games that we did at the end of last year. I think we're going to start looking into that. I don't know if it's actually going to be next week I just know that we're going to start doing things like that where, you know, we I remember, I don't know if you guys were a part of the Hoopball thing. If you guys aren't at Hoopball tweets, look out for these. But we're doing free games. People come, and whoever won in that FanDuel thing for the night, you know, they get shout out on the show, and you know, we were getting to give away prizes and things like that. And we've been doing a lot of DFS stuff. For those who are not a premium member, I'm telling you, the stuff that John Schifferly is doing with his little module and this little form that he made for S has just been fantastic. It's been amazing. It's been helping me win money, and he's got names out there today that I'm not going to reveal because you have to become a premium member. But yeah, we're gonna look at ways of making competition for the viewers for sure. I mean, making this completely interactive was more fun. Was more fun with you guys. So yeah, there's gonna be competition. I don't know about the screenshot thing, but we'll look into it for sure. Message me at VM Center. We'll think about it. Tamakar, trade rumor alert. How likely is that Boogie Cousins is still a king at Christmas? Your Sacramento advice is miraculous as always, Vince. Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. I would if I had to bet over under on 50, I'd bet on the over that he stays. I mean, he's just too big of a prize. I mean, the Kings are struggling. You're going to hear a lot of, like, whenever the Kings are struggling, there's always going to be that narrative that, oh, the Kings are going to move DeMarcus Cousins. It just hasn't happened. He's just too much of a centerpiece right now for a team that needs that. I mean, once in every 15 years type of player. The things that he does, I mean, he's the most offensively gifted, best offensively gifted center in the league. So, I mean, for them to move and they want to get pieces back, I mean, what they said in the piece, at least in the rumor, is that if they wanted to move him, now would be the time so you can get the most assets back before February. No matter what, DeMarcus Cousins' value is always going to be high, so that's just wrong. I mean, you can wait until the absolute trade deadline. If you said DeMarcus Cousins was on the block, his value goes to exactly where it needs to be, and you don't give him up for any less. So again, I don't read too much into it. I would if I had to bet on it, DeMarcus Cousins would still be with the Sacramento Kings by Christmas. Who benefits that the most? Should I stash Willie Cauley-Stein? Willie Cauley-Stein is struggling right now, and I don't know if it's because of the system that it is, but actually I do. It's mainly because of the system that they're running. He's just not fully into it, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit. I think as the season progresses and you see what happens with Kosta Koufos and whether or not he stays, I think that'll be when you want to start looking at going to get Willie Cauley-Stein. But right now, I mean, he's not getting consistent minutes. He's not being a consistent player. But what happens with that one? Should you stash him? If DeMarcus is moved, yes. Angel, the Clay rumor was intense. The Clay rumor that he was going to be moved? Stop, he's not being moved. Will Oladipo and Aaron Gordon ever pick it up this season? Yeah, he will. I mean, what you're seeing from Oladipo is really potential for what he could be. I mean, he started off slow last season too, and then he still finished with top 40 value. With Aaron Gordon, I think the upside is there because of the defensive stats. I think the field goal percentage it will increase to probably right around 45%. Or 48%. I don't think that'd be that bad. I don't think you're going to be relying on him for a ton of 3-pointers. What you really want him for is going to be the steals, the rebounding numbers, and things like that. So I think that would have been too crazy to expect them to move up in value, because I sure don't. I think Oladipo is going to be at least a top 40 guy. At least at the minimum, he'll be a top 40 guy. And I think Aaron Gordon, I mean, I think that they have that potential because of their skill sets and what they do for their team is just so good. I think Aaron Gordon would benefit from one of those big men moving though, so he can play some stretch four. But we'll see what happens there. Chris, are you on the Bebe train? Would you drop Sergio Rodriguez, Barea, Cantor, or Gary Harris for him? Not dropping Gary Harris for him. Not dropping Barea for him. I mean, I might drop. I mean, out of all of the names, I probably would drop Rodriguez if you absolutely wanted to hop on that train. But still, with Bebe, I want to see that he's going to be getting consistent minutes and that he's going to see those minutes for a long period of time, because it's really so hard to tell with just a short amount of time that he's been in the games and he's actually been playing. But that breakout game that he had was just amazing. I mean, the 5 blocks and what was it, like 20 minutes, he had like 5 blocks, 17 points. This guy's good. He's short, he's lengthy, he's gonna get the minutes, he's an energy guy off the bench. I think that's where he's gonna be, but he's gonna be inconsistent the entire time. If you really wanted to move someone, I'm looking at a guy like Sergio Rodriguez, but only because Jared Bayless looks like he's getting closer and closer to returning. They just sent him down to the D League for rehab, so he's probably working out and running. I don't think he's playing in any games. He's probably scrimmaging with those guys down there. And then when he moves back, he'll be ready to go. So that's going to be taking away from Sergio Rodriguez's minutes. Will Darren Williams ever get healthy? That takes away from JJ Barea, but he's never healthy, so Barea should be fine. And then Cantor, he's inconsistent, but he's a double-double guy. And then Gary Harris, we've been so high on him. So I don't think out of those names, I think Rodriguez is the only one that you're really looking at. But I'm not so much on the train where I have to drop whoever I have to go get him. Is Justin Anderson or Powell a must-own only if Dirk is shut down? You the real MVP. Oh, stop. Thank you. Is Justin Anderson Dwight Powell a must-own player? We talked about this a little bit today during the weekly lineup show. The thing about Powell is that he just hasn't really stepped up since Dirk has been out, and that's my biggest issue. Is like Dwight Powell, I think he has all the talents to be something good. I mean, the jump shot from the mid-range can normally, if okay, can it be a little bit broken? Maybe, but I mean, he has a touch. He hasn't been shooting. He hasn't been as aggressive. And then the rebounding numbers, his athleticism. I mean, they talked about him so much over the offseason about seeing an increased role panned out that way. I mean, he's getting minutes and then he's not really showing up. I mean, out of the two, I thought John Lewar and Dwight Powell were going to be kind of the same this year, and John Lewar has basically exceeded my expectation coming off that bench for Detroit and has played really well to the player I thought he could be, or Dwight Powell has kind of just stayed where he was from last season. And so that's kind of my with him. Just Anderson, yeah, I think if he shut down, you see more stretch four of Harrison Barnes. I think Justin Anderson can come in there and be a Jay Crowder type of player with the defensive stats, the rebounding, the fact that he can knock down a 3-point shot. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say must-own player, but he's that line where you can look at him and say, he's kind of in that Dwight Powell camp. Like, they keep running him out there, then they stop running him out there for as much time. So it just kind of, I think it depends on the flow of the game. If I had to give you a gun to my head answer, like right now for you, I'm going to say yeah. If Dirk is shut down, I'll say yeah. Will Vooch just be a season-long problem unless he's dealt? Yeah. I mean, he's giving you games, though, movie dude. He's giving you some games. He's giving you like a 20-12 game. He's not going to get you any defensive stats. We know that. Serge Ibaka there taking away some minutes or taking away some shots. So shots are already going down. We saw that when he was playing OKC, but Ibaka's been terrible too. Bismack Biyombo needs to get more minutes just because he's my favorite player to yell out loud. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely think he's going to be a problem. The injury history between Vucevic is an issue. The fact that he's inconsistent is an issue. There's a lot of problem. He's going to be a problem unless he's moved and he's once again a number 1 or number 2 option. Well, right now, for him that, but he hasn't really produced at that. I believe he's over the last 2 games. He's only scored like 4 points, which has been terrible. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where he's going to be a problem for you unless he's moved or unless an injury is to happen to one of those other guys. And as of right now, he just hasn't been producing. He's giving you games though. He's giving you sprinkles of this is why you drafted him. This is why you got him. But those sprinkles are starting to fade away where you're not really going to want him anymore. All right. I think that's all of our questions here on the show. So let's start previewing some of these games as we look into today's card. I'm not going to go to like who do you start, who do you sit. What I can do though, only because we don't normally do it on this show, and it looks like because it's a later show than we normally do. Normally this show goes live around like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Today we're a little bit later, mainly due to the fact that we try to find co-hosts to come on in here, and that's just long story short. We're here and we're ready to go. So I think what we can do today is run down some of these games, give expectations, and also give out players that we think could also be good in DFS formats. Now, I'm not going to reveal what Shifterly's picks are. If you guys want to see what Shifterly's picks are, you guys can go on the site and go see what his module did or his little the math guy thing that's called math stats. Bam. Once he has those things ready to go, those things that article has just recently been published. You also have Brett Squires, who's also has won plenty of times on DraftKings. He's had people already messaging him on the side about how his articles are helping other people win. I don't play DraftKings, so I don't normally go to his numbers. But if you're a DraftKings guy, Brett's your guy, and you need to go on there and you need to go read his stuff because those two, Brett, John. They're giving away some great DFS stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to preview some of these games and continue taking all of your guys' fan questions as the show goes on. But while we're going over these games, we're going to say one or two from each side of who can be considered strong DFS plays for the day in those games. So I'm not going to give you a card unless, at the very end I feel nice enough to give you one, but I don't think I'm going to be giving you a card. And we'll just name off a couple of players from each side that you can consider putting into your DFS lineup. So you have the Orlando Magic versus the Indiana Pacers. Now, Paul George is going to be a risky play, but if he does play, and there's an expectation that he should be able to play because he says he's going to be good to go, but you never know. The Pacers could be a little bit cautious, but at 4-6, both these guys are tied at 4-6 record right now. I just don't see why they would want to hold him out this early in the season if he says he's good to go. But again, it's a risky play. A lot of DFS owners and tournament plays don't like to make those risky plays when they have a lot of money on the line. So I would say, and by a lot of money, I normally mean like $2 or $3. Anyways, play right there. But of course, the money is also going to be an issue. We spoke about this guy earlier. I think Vucevic could be a nice little sneaky play as well. Elfrid Payton, I'm going to fade on this one after scoring a 50.7. I believe it was just last night for this team. Elfrid Payton's going to be a highly owned player. Everyone's going to buy into the hype. They always do. They always want to ride a hot streak, and Elfrid Payton is not going to be on my team. Another player for the Indiana Pacers that I'm looking at is Jeff Teague. You got to look at Jeff Teague. You got to think about it, and you got to say, can he kill it in Orlando? I think he's going to be a player to watch. Cheong Lam says Harden, Horford, Depot, Matthews, Collison, Powell, JV, Bazemore, Kilpatrick, Cody Zeller, Bradley, Cody Delly, 11-team Roto, 9-cap. Wow, that's a lot. I want to pick up Justin Hamilton. Who should I drop? You want to pick him up? Out of all of those players, I'm saying Dellavedova. I mean, you're basically got a lot of Harden, you got Oladipo, and you got Call. I mean, that's your point guard player there. Harden, Depot, and Collison. And then if you wanted him, I'd drop Delly for him if you absolutely want him. Someone offered me TJ Warren and Joel Embiid for Horford and JV. Go for it. We answered that earlier today on the weekly lineup show. And Chiang, thanks for joining us for that show and becoming a premium member, and also joining us here on Fantasy NBA Today. And what we said is that you have Horford and JV. We're sticking with Horford and JV. You're hoping that Embiid can be what Horford already is and can give you when healthy. And TJ Warren and Jonas Valanciunas is kind of it's kind of going to be one of the same. What JV does, I mean, he's going to get you the blocks. He should be able to get you the blocks, get you close to maybe a steal a game. But it's really the percentages, the fact he can get you points, the double-doubles, the rebounds. I mean, that's what you're looking for out of JV. So if you want the bigs and you already have the bigs, which it looks like you do, I wouldn't really get rid of them for a big man in Embiid, who has shown a lot of potential, but he's turning over the basketball a lot. He's also being rested for games. His minute cap is there. You want Embiid to turn into what Al Horford already is. The upside is there, but I'm just saying, after talking with AB earlier today on that show, we're leaning more towards Al Horford and Jonas Valanciunas and just sticking there. And don't worry, it's okay that you missed it. I understand. You wanted your question answered. Now we did it today here on Fantasy NBA Today. We move on to the next matchup of the night. New York to challenge the Knickerbockers. It's a boring one. I'll give you that one. I think Derrick Rose, though. I mean, he's been playing pretty good. I mean, for DFS, not necessarily season long, but for DFS owners, he's been putting up some numbers. I think the matchup for him is a pretty good one. Him against JJ Barea. It's speed on speed right now, and really I'm looking at it from a height and muscle perspective. Can Derrick Rose get the better half of JJ Barea? I would test it. I'm going to test it. I have Derrick Rose. On the flip side of that, I also have JJ Barea, because I also think JJ Barea and Derrick Rose is a good matchup. I think the Knicks' defense is terrible. I think it's going to get a lot of wide foot shots. So I have both those guys actually in my lineup. No one's going to stop who, and that's what this game is going to come down to. Who can stop who? As for the big men, I'm fading on Joakim Noah. He's been playing good over his last couple games, but this looks like it's going to be an up-and-down game. When it's an up-and-down game, Joakim Noah is not as effective as most people think he is. When he's in that half-court set, being able to control the offense and really dictate where everyone's going to go and be a facilitator, that's when he's at his best. The rebounding has been there for him in a DFS format, but again, There's a reason why he's such a low option. And in this type of game today against the Mavericks, where it's going to probably be a lot of up and down, I think this is where you're going to see Dwight Powell probably be at his best all season long, and not necessarily from a statistics perspective, but the fact that he's going to be one-on-one against Kristaps Porzingis, and that is a matchup that I'm excited to see. But yeah, I'm fading on Joakim Noah, and I'm actually really high on a guy like Kristaps Porzingis today because I don't know if Dwight Powell is going to be able to stop him, but I do know that the defensive intensity is there when he plays, so I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. So I got Porzingis, I got Derrick Rose, and I got JJ Barea as the few players that I have. And the reason why I don't have Melo or Harrison Barnes is because I don't know who stops who. OKC, Detroit Pistons, second half of back-to-back. Who are you looking at? Well, of course, you have Russell Westbrook, but he costs so much money. I mean, I don't really have to talk about those guys that much. The guys that cost like $11,000. Unless you guys absolutely are wondering, hey, what do you think about this guy who costs $11,000? I'm going to just tell you the same thing. He's amazing. You just got to hope he returns what you pay for. Again, I'll probably go with Oladipo here, though. I know that might sound crazy. I know that might not be great for putting up a 17-point dud for a lot of his DFS owners yesterday, me being one of them. But again, I mean, the matchup is there. I know Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is going to be good, but again, it's one of those things where the matchup is just too good to be true. I think Victor Oladipo needs to have a better night, especially after throwing up that dud against his former team. Andre Drummond is not playing, so I think John Lure is a great value play here. I believe he's right around $4,400, so really only needs to get you 22 FanDuel points to really meet value, which I think is very doable for him because of his rebounding numbers and the fact that he can score. Marcus Morris and Tobias Harris see an uptick in value as well. I just think that you're going to see help by committee if once Drummond, he's listed as doubtful, but if he's not playing, that's definitely what you're going to see is just help by committee. You're going to see Tobias Harris step up, John Lure step up, all these other guys start stepping up. It's going to be interesting to see how that happens. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with John Lure as well. And Enes Kanter, I mean, no DeAndre Jordan or no DeAndre Drummond, Andre. I don't know why. Sip. No Andre Drummond means no shot blocking, so definitely like Enes Kanter and Steven Adams tonight as well. Gurwinder Johol says, Trevor Booker a definite play with Lopez resting? Trevor Booker has been almost my definite play for the last couple of weeks. He's been returning value in almost every game, and yet his price never changes. So, yeah, you keep rolling him out there with no Brook Lopez playing. And I don't think who do the Nets play tonight? Let's play Clippers. I mean, that's a scary matchup because you got Blake Griffin, but he's been playing so good. They need someone in there. I would say, yeah, I'd roll him out there. I mean, for the price, I'd roll him out there. James Johnson tonight and Justin Hamilton, DFSs. Oh, I'm not a fan of James Johnson. That's a huge flyer pick for me. Justin Hamilton, again, I talked about it earlier. I'm not having him in any of my lineups. It's just the Clippers are just too athletic. They're too quick to be able to close out on his 3-point shot. I wouldn't roll out just now. They have the number one defense for the reason. And that's another reason why it'd be scary to play Trevor Booker. But for his price and because of what they need with the rebounding, the fact he's getting you 2 steals per game right now, if he can just do the little things, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block, I mean, that's him basically meeting value, which you'd be okay with. I don't know if I can guarantee that with Justin Hamilton. Can't guarantee that with any of these guys. That's why it's DFS play. But more money on Trevor Booker than I would on Justin Hamilton, which you're going to have to in DFS formats. Seth Curry, a sneaky play. Last 2 games are producing 40+. It's the Knicks. I'll say that. It's the Knicks. Score. I mean, it's going to be him and Justin Holiday on it. Justin Holiday, Brandon Jennings guarding him. I think Brandon Jennings is probably really guard. Jennings has been that's a tough one. Jennings has been into players a little bit, mainly due to his quickness, but his defensive lapses always happen. I think Seth Curry could definitely be a sneaky play. You ride the hot hand while you can. I don't think it's the most terrible decision to do, but again, it's not something that I personally doing, but I understand why you would definitely choose to do so if you did. And we move on to the next game. And we can continue talking DFS. We can talk season long. All of your guys' fantasy basketball questions, we're answering it live here on today's show. Again, this is going to be probably one of the more laid-back fantasy NBA Today shows since it is solo, and this is more of a Q&A segment. But again, for the Pistons game, just so you guys know, it was Oladipo. We're avoiding the big numbers, which is Russell Westbrook, because we all understand that Russell Westbrook, if you put him in your lineup, no one's going to question you because he's that amazing. So I got Oladipo, I got John Lure, I got Enes Kanter, and I got Steven Adams. Celtics, Pelicans. Are you putting in Anthony Davis? Again, if you do it, I understand why you did it. They have no Al Horford. Who's really going to stop him, right? I think Avery Bradley has to definitely be played. He's been playing out of his mind. Isaiah Thomas is playing tonight. Tim Frazier's there. I mean, I think you got to roll with Isaiah Thomas. I think he's going to be a nice play tonight. But really, you're looking at that Pelican side. I know what a lot of you guys are saying. Do I play Terrence Jones? Can this be the game? Any game can be the game. So that's my biggest worry. That's my biggest concern. The only players I really trust come from the Celtics side, and that is Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, and the only player that I have for the Pelicans is Anthony Davis. That's how bad that matchup is. A sneaky player that could potentially be good in this game is Terry Rozier. If you guys want to go value play in a tournament league, I think Terry Rozier, for his value, he probably if I actually pulled up his price. Let me see how much this guy costs. I think it's like 3,600. He only needs to get you like 20 FanDuel points, and he's already exceeding value. So I think that would be a nice little strong play that you can go, okay. Let's see. Terry Rozier is in FanDuel leagues. Terry Rozier is, I don't even see him. He's in there. 3,600? No? Just type it in. Rozier. 3,700. See? There you go. Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, Kelly Olynyk would be fine. I mean, with Anthony Davis there, though, I mean, that's the one thing you worry about. You have a stretch 5, stretch 4 on a stretch 5, stretch 4. I mean, it would be really. And then plus, Terrence Jones is a good defender. I mean, you can have someone go out there. Dante Cunningham can go out there. I mean, Kelly Olynyk can knock down jump shots, though. So if you believe in his jumper, then yeah, I would say go ahead and go after it. I just think this game is going to be a blowout. That's the biggest issue for me, is I think this game is going to be a blowout. I don't even think it's really that big of a question how big of this blowout is going to be, only because I think the Celtics are a lot better than what their record shows. And because they haven't been healthy, I want to see them at full strength once again. I want to see Jay Crowder. I want to see Al Horford back in their lineup. And look, so this game is the Celtics are already looked at as 5-point favorites in Vegas over the Pelicans. So I mean, maybe it could be a little bit closer than you expect it to be, but I truly don't. I'd probably take the Celtics still in this one. I think it's gonna be a double-digit win. I just don't think the Pelicans have been playing that well. As we move on to the next game here. Again, we're just rolling down some DFS stuff. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to roll them on in. But this is going to be me kind of just working with you guys, just going down today's lineups and previewing you for Monday's games. Another one here. With it playing Anthony Davis then? Yeah, is it risky playing Anthony Davis? Yes, it is risky playing Anthony Davis. It's going to be Anthony Davis, but it always is. I mean, he can get injured at any time. I mean, I'm scared of that. I'm scared of that every time I throw out a guy like Eric Gordon. I think that could happen at any single time. But Anthony Davis will look good. Statistically, this guy has been amazing. He's been the only reason why people have been so disappointed in the Pelicans. It's not that they're disappointed in Anthony Davis, that they've put a supporting cast around him that just can't stay healthy and just can't win games. And for how good of a talent he is, they want him. I think Anthony Davis is definitely going to get you his numbers. $7,000 player is just so hard to do when your team is just getting blown out and your team just isn't that great at playing right now and you're just getting beat constantly. I mean, he's $11,500. $11,500. That's a lot. So in that, you're expecting, do it here. You're expecting 57.5 FanDuel points from him. I mean, that's a big hill to climb. I'm not saying Anthony Davis can't do it, but again, it's a risky one, and it's a lot of money you're spending just for him to hopefully meet that. Boogie to Toronto. Let's go. Stop it. Super Taco. Chris Paul tonight. I don't know if that's what that means. TN tonight, I'm guessing, right? Yeah, I think Chris Paul's good. The other thing is that, again, I think it's going to be a blowout. As of right now, Vegas has it that Brooklyn is 16-point underdogs. So that kind of is going to identify, or it should tell you a little bit about how bad this game is probably going to be. It's probably going to be a blowout early. And you probably don't see Chris Paul after the third. But it wouldn't surprise me if he still was able to give you 35 FanDuel points if you really wanted to roll. Beal and Marvin Williams were both dropped in my league. Which do you put on waiver? Which do you put your waiver claim on? Oh, probably Bradley Beal, higher upside. I mean, it just depends on what you need. I mean, Bradley Beal is a guy who has early round potential, but also has the biggest injury risk, which is completely scary. Plus, Marvin Williams, we talked about it earlier in the show, the field goal percentage is terrible right now. So you're really just hoping that he picks that back up. Plus, the blocks aren't there, the steals aren't there. He's not even getting you one in game. It's really just threes, points, and rebounds. I think Bradley Beal, what he gets you is threes, points, and rebounds as well. But he also gets you to the free throw line a little bit more. I would probably go with Bradley Beal over Marvin Williams, mainly just due to the upside, but he's the bigger risk. If you want a safer pick, I would go with Marvin Williams. I know that's not a great straightforward answer, but it's a straightforward answer with the allowance for me to exchange it at any single time. So I gave you an answer, but with a receipt. Hope that worked. So we have 15 minutes left here on the show. I want to remind everyone that this is a hoop-ball.com presentation. This is Fantasy NBA Today. This is probably my worst hosted show ever, and I hope you guys completely forgive me as I'm in pain, and, I got a rock star. And I spilled. So that's just great. Also, anyway, Fantasy NBA Today, hoop-ball.com presentation. We're running down these games. If you guys have a fantasy basketball question that you want to hear on the show, all you have to do, dial it down in the live chat. I'm monitoring it very closely, and I would love to be able to answer all of your guys' fantasy basketball question needs. As we move on to the next game here, Rockets, Philly. This should be fun, right? Right? Just throw in James Harden. He needs to be in all lineups. Right? Could this be finally the game that he gets? I will say this, though. In surprising fashion, at home, Philadelphia is only underdogs by 11 points. That's big. Because if it's not that big of a blow, James Harden has to play. If he's playing, he's putting up numbers. If he's putting up numbers, he needs to be in your lineup. So I actually am okay with putting James Harden out there in all DFS formats. I have him in a couple of my lineups right now. I'll reveal one of my cards to you at the very end, just so you guys know. Just because I'm gentle, just because I'm nice. They are also. Let me see here. Just to double check to get it 100%. As of today, this team is the highest scoring game of the night with the 213.5. Joel Embiid does return tonight as well, so I would say yes to starting James Harden. Mohammed Hafiz Javed says ESPN is projecting Deng dropping in value with the rise of Bjelica. Is he Deng worth hanging on to? Yes, Deng is worth holding on to. Deng, for what he can do with blocking shots, getting you steals, shooting the three-point shot, shooting the mid-range jumper. Bjelica is a good player, is a good off the bench player, but he's an off the bench player for a reason. He gets hot, he gets old. He's basically the Minnesota's Mirotic right now. He is the Mirotic for the Timberwolves, and I don't think Deng is going anywhere for what he can do. He's just too good next to Karl-Anthony Towns, being able to space the floor while also being able to get the rebounds, run down the floor, and also set up shop and get a nice little hook shot in there. So I like Gorgui Deng. I love when he does the pick and pop. He's a good player. I don't think you have to worry about Bjelica taking a lot of time away from him, nor his shots away from him. So, and it's not like they can't play on the floor together either. I think you could see a lineup where you have Deng and Bjelica together on the floor, which did happen at times last season when Deng was coming off the bench for KG. So can't believe I forgot. I was thinking of Area 21. I was about to say that out loud. I knew that was wrong. Is Jake Crowder worth the hype? Yeah, he's worth the hype. Movie dude, he's worth the hype. He gets you steals. He gets you threes. Gets you points. Gets your rebound. He gets a little bit of everything for you while also not killing you in any of the percentages. He also doesn't turn the basketball over that much either. So, I mean, you have to keep considering him as a early round player. I don't know if he's gonna meet that early round, but he's gonna be on that border of an early round player this year, especially when he's healthy. Muhammad said, "Thank you so much for joining us here on Fantasy NBA today. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that thumbs up button while you're watching this show and before you leave. And again, just hit subscribe if you haven't done so already." Gurwinder Johol, does anyone know if Horford is playing? Also, Paul George. Horford is considered, I believe, questionable still at this point. I know he went through shoot around, but I do know at the same time that there was a video of him talking that he went through practice and there's things that they're still looking for. So I wouldn't expect him playing today. I think his best chance will be playing on the 16th, which is a Wednesday. I believe that's when their next game is after today. So I wouldn't expect him to play today. Paul George, I would expect him to play. He said he's good to go, but again, you never know with the Indiana Pacers. They could be holding him back. William Usher, do I continue to hold Jokic? I'm currently 2 games away from first place, and I'm hoping that he gets that, given he's the better than Nurkic. I mean, with Jokic, he made the wise decision of moving to the bench. Michael Malone made the wise decision to come out and say that he needs to play him at center more. At some point, those two things are going to click to where he's going to get the minutes. I also think that they're still showcasing a lot of Kenneth Faried right now. If you're 2 games away from first place, you don't win your fantasy leagues by seeing that you're in first place heading into the playoffs of your leagues. You don't do that. You win it in the playoffs. I think Jokic by that time will have already met his value. As Aaron said this morning on a show, I wish I was in all of your leagues so I can continue to receive all of your Jokic offers. Like, if I can give you Aaron Gordon for Jokic, if I can give you, TJ Warren, these are things that they would accept. He would say, "Hey, I'll give you Jokic for TJ Warren." He would accept it. "Hey, I'll give you Jokic for Aaron Gordon." These are things that he would accept. So I'll give it to him. You can message him at Aaron Brewski, but I'll say this as well. I can prove to you I have Jokic in my lineup as well, and I'm holding tight and I'm holding pretty on him as well. So I think the value is still there. He's too good to drop. He's too good to move away from. I think the upside is there for him to be a top 25 player this year. So don't give up. Dan H, would you drop Tyler Johnson or Mo Harkless for Saric? Oh, Saric, I'm not on the Saric train. That's the biggest problem with me. Saric, your guys are forgetting the H, right? Or it's silent. I'm getting told that it's silent. I knew it's silent. It's not real. No one told me anything. I'm pretending. Drop Tyler Johnson or Mo Harkless for Saric? No, probably not. Maybe. I mean, maybe Mo Harkless. I think Tyler Johnson's going to give you the all-around stat line, where Mo Harkless is going to be so inconsistent for what he does. I mean, Gurwinder says he believes in him, and Gurwinder's always in here. You got to trust him. He believes everything that's in here. So go. I believe you, Gurwinder. He believes in Saric. I don't fully buy the hype yet, but again, I also didn't buy full into the hype. But now I'm on the full train of Joel Embiid, and I think that's on me. All right, back to the games. We only have a couple left, and then I will be letting you guys do your thing before sending you guys the lineups and all your DFS stuff. And again, we can continue talking on Twitter at VM Center. I need a PG. What can I expect in return for Monroe? 9-cat head-to-head standard. I mean, if you really wanted to try something crazy, I mean, I would probably go Monroe and try and see if you can get a person who's stashing away. What? Kid just announced that John Henson is a starting center. All right. I didn't see that yet, but I'll have to look into that. I need a PG. What can you expect from Monroe? Again, I think Jrue Holiday, if you wanted to throw a Monroe offer out there to go see whoever is stashing Holiday is willing to give that up, you probably won't get that return. I mean, you got if you guys talk in your league, it's all about selling and how you sell it. If you sell Monroe as a who just needs the opportunity for change, and it's gonna happen, and blah 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 blah. He's a double guy, blah 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 blah. Everything I'm selling to hype myself in my head. What could you get? Something better than maybe Ricky Rubio. Maybe no, Ricky Rubio's still putting up like top 50 value. I would try these low end guys that people always overlook because of the name, because all they do is this, all they do is that. I would probably try a guy like Ricky Rubio, but again, it depends on what you're trying to look to get after from your point guard? Are you looking for assists? Are you looking for points? Are you looking for steals? What is it that you're looking for from your point guard? I think is a good question to address. I did not hear that Kidd announced that John Henson is going to be a starting center moving forward. I'll have to look into that. I saw that he didn't get a lot of minutes though last game. Again, it's gonna. I'm thinking you guys are having a conversation with each other. And so, yeah, I think that's probably what you guys are doing. So that means I'm going to really just roll down these last few games as fast as possible. So you have Miami and San Antonio. I think you're looking at a guy like Kawhi Leonard and saying that's a good matchup. I think you're looking at a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge and saying that's a good matchup. D'Angelo Russell, probably not. And the reason why I read D'Angelo Russell out is because that was the question. Hassan Whiteside, I think, is a big one. I believe he scored like 47 FanDuel points in their last game. I think Hassan Whiteside against Pau Gasol is a really good matchup. But I think Pau Gasol is also a player that's probably not going to be owned because of his slow start to the season. No one's really seen that his hype train is starting to come up a little bit. And Pau Gasol could be a good play here. So those are my players in that one. We've kind of talked about it a little bit here. There's 16-point underdogs right now. The Nets are. They're still going to have to play some of these guys. They're a little bit of an injury slump. I think Justin Hamilton is going to be a guy that you're going to see have issues guarding a DeAndre Jordan, guarding a Blake Griffin. I think you could say the same thing about Trevor Booker, but they need those guys to be on the floor, so I understand why you guys would have them in your lineups. I'm looking at Trevor Booker closely. I think Rondae Hollis-Jefferson has been showing improvement in each of his games, and as the season progresses, he's going to continue to show those improvements. I think the minutes are going to be there for him as well, so I really like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. They need scoring, so maybe Bojan Bogdanovic can come in there and knock down some three-point shots. I'll just say this, though. I'm kind of staying away from this game. Like a little bit. A lot bit. Yeah, a lot of bit. And maybe even looking at JJ Redick, if I absolutely needed a value play at shooting guard, I might like a JJ Redick for some three-point shots. Movie dude, does the Henson move matter if he's still in a timeshare? Does the Henson move matter if he's still in a timeshare? Yeah, it matters a little bit because if he's actually getting the minutes is where it matters. I just don't think it matters enough to make him into standard leagues. But all right, guys, that is our show. I'm going to cut it off here at this moment, at this point, and I want to say thank you all for joining us here on this Monday edition of Fantasy NBA Today. I hope I'm here with you guys again tomorrow. It could be me and it could be Riaz. Zane. Me and Zane are. One of these guys are on tomorrow. I don't know who's on Tuesday. I'll have to look at the schedule. Could be me. Could be Dan. We don't really know yet. We'll figure it all out. But no matter what, there is going to be a Fantasy NBA Today show on your iTunes feed. So go ahead and go subscribe there if you haven't done so already. Just go to Fantasy. Just type in Fantasy NBA Today. Look for the Hoopball logo there on iTunes. And hey, while you're there subscribing, please do us a huge favor and leave us a rating. Follow me on Twitter on all social media platforms of @VM Center. Follow the site @Hoopball Tweets. Bookmark the site hoop-ball.com. And until next time, fantasy basketball players, have a good one tonight. Peace out.